Commander Hyunwoo stood on the bridge of his flagship, watching the tactical display with growing concern. 12 bright dots representing the Galactic Council's finest reconnaissance ships had just crossed into the Kepler 442 system. Now, 6 hours later, those dots were gone. "Run the scan again," he ordered his communications officer, a young Altari named Kilron. "Sir, I have scanned the system 17 times. The ships are not there. No wreckage, no distress signals, nothing at all." Hyunwoo's 4 eyes blinked slowly as he processed this information. The missing fleet contained 300 of the galaxy's best soldiers, scientists, and explorers. Ships from 6 different species, all equipped with the most advanced technology the Council could provide. Quantum shields that could deflect asteroid impacts, antimatter engines that could cross star systems in days, weapons that could crack planets in half. All of it gone. "What do we know about this system?" Hyunwoo asked his science officer. "Very little, Commander. One small world, in the habitable zone. Early industrial development. They have chemical rockets, basic radio communications, and primitive nuclear weapons. Nothing that should threaten our vessels." Hyunwoo studied the long-range sensor data. The planet looked ordinary enough. Blue oceans, green continents, white clouds swirling in familiar patterns. The energy signatures showed a civilization that had barely learned to split atoms. Their most advanced spacecraft were crude metal cylinders that burned liquid fuel to escape their own gravity well. Could there be something else in the system? Ancient weapons, hidden defense platforms? Negative, sir. Deep scans show nothing unusual. Just the one inhabited world and the normal collection of asteroids and gas giants. The bridge fell silent except for the quiet hum of the ship's systems. Hyunwoo had served in the Galactic Council fleet for 30 years. He had seen strange phenomena before. Space was full of mysteries. But this was different. Ships did not simply vanish without leaving any trace at all. "Contact Admiral Jamin on the command station," he ordered. "Priority 1 transmission." While Kilron established the connection, Hyunwoo reviewed the mission parameters again. The reconnaissance fleet had been sent to investigate unusual quantum fluctuations detected by long-range sensors. Energy patterns that did not match any known natural phenomenon. The science division had been excited about the discovery, calling it possibly the most significant find in decades. The Admiral's image appeared on the main screen. Jamin was an old soldier, his face marked by years of difficult decisions. "Report, Commander." "Sir, we have lost contact with the entire reconnaissance fleet. All 12 ships gone without trace." Jamin's expression did not change, but Hyunwoo could see the muscles in his jaw tighten. "Gone how?" "Unknown, sir. They entered the system 6 hours ago and simply disappeared from our sensors. No distress calls, no energy discharges, no debris field, nothing." "What about the quantum fluctuations they were sent to investigate?" "Still present, sir. If anything, they appear to have grown stronger since our ships entered the system." Jamin was quiet for a long moment, staring at something off-screen. Finally, he spoke. "Commander, I want you to maintain position at the edge of the system. Do not, under any circumstances, cross the boundary. We are dealing with something beyond our current understanding. Sir, what about the missing crews? 300 souls, I know. But we cannot risk losing more ships until we understand what we are facing. I am calling an emergency session of the High Council. Every species representative will need to hear about this." The transmission ended, leaving Hyunwoo alone with his thoughts. 300 beings from across the galaxy, gone in an instant. The Zenthan warriors who could fight a dozen enemies at once. The Korvek scientists with their brilliant minds and advanced technology. The Melody telepaths who could communicate across vast distances with thought alone. All of them vanished near a world inhabited by creatures who had barely learned to leave their own atmosphere. "Commander," Kilron called from his station, "I am detecting something strange." "What is it?" "The quantum fluctuations from the system. They are changing. The pattern is becoming more organized, more structured. Almost like what?" "Like a communication signal, sir. But that is impossible. The inhabitants of that world do not possess quantum communication technology. Hyunwoo moved to the sensor station and studied the readings himself. The energy patterns were indeed changing, shifting from random chaos to something that looked almost deliberate, as if something in the system was learning, adapting, organizing itself. Continue monitoring, he ordered. Record everything and prepare a full report for the High Council. As he watched the mysterious signals from the primitive system, Hyunwoo felt a chill that had nothing to do with the temperature on his ship. Whatever had taken their reconnaissance fleet was not random. It was intelligent, and now it knew everything those 300 crew members had known about the Galactic Council, their technology, and their intentions. For the first time in his long career, Commander Hyunwoo wondered if they had found something in the galaxy that was more dangerous than they were. 3 months had passed since the first fleet disappeared, and Admiral Jae-min felt like he was losing his mind. The reports on his desk told a story that made no sense. 47 ships gone. Over 2,000 crew members vanished without a trace, all near the same primitive world that barely knew how to build rockets. "Tell me about the second expedition," he said to his aide, a nervous Corvex named Min-ho. The science vessel Deep. "Explorer, sir. Equipped with the most advanced sensors in the fleet, they lasted 2 hours and 14 minutes before disappearing." "And the third?" "Military cruiser Starblade. Full battle configuration, combat shields, heavy weapons. 4 hours and 7 minutes, Jae-min rubbed his temples. Each expedition had been stronger than the last, yet they lasted shorter amounts of time, as if something was learning from each encounter, getting better at dealing with their technology. "What about the Dreadnought?" Min-ho's voice dropped to a whisper. "The Cosmic Fury, sir. Our most powerful warship. Planet-cracking weapons, shields that could stop a supernova. 18 minutes. 18 minutes. A ship that could destroy entire worlds. Gone in less time than it took to eat lunch." Jae-min stood and walked to the window of his command station, looking out at the stars. Somewhere out there, near that innocent-looking yellow sun, something was collecting their ships like toys. "Sir, the High Council is demanding answers," Min-ho said carefully. "What answers can I give them? That we are being defeated by a species that uses chemical rockets? That our most advanced technology means nothing against whatever is in that system?" The door to his office opened and Commander Hyunwoo entered, looking exhausted. He had been monitoring the system's edge for months, watching and waiting for any sign of the missing ships. "Any news?" Jae-min asked. "The quantum fluctuations are getting stronger, sir, more organized. And there is something else." Hyunwoo activated a holographic display showing energy patterns. "These readings are from yesterday. Look at this section here." Jae-min studied the data. The energy patterns looked almost like language, like someone was trying to communicate using quantum frequencies. "What does it say?" "We do not know, sir. But our best scientists think it might be a form of mathematics. Advanced equations that we have never seen before. Mathematics from a world that barely understands nuclear physics? That is what makes no sense, sir. Either our intelligence about this species is completely wrong, or something else is happening in that system." Jae-min walked back to his desk and picked up another report. "The council representatives are panicking. The Zenthan want to send a full battle fleet. The Melody are suggesting we destroy the entire system from long range. The Corvex think we should build a barrier around it and never go back. What do you think we should do, sir?" Before Jae-min could answer, an alarm sounded throughout the station. Min-ho quickly checked his communications panel. "Sir, we are receiving a transmission from the edge of the system. It is from Commander So Young on the monitoring station. Put it through." The main screen activated, showing the face of a young officer. Her eyes were wide with shock and fear. "Admiral, you need to see this. Something is coming from the system. A ship, but not like anything we have ever seen." "Show me." The image changed to show space near the monitoring station. A small object was moving toward them, leaving a trail of chemical exhaust. It looked primitive, like the rockets the inhabitants of the system used to reach their own moon. But it was moving between stars, something that should be impossible with such technology. "How fast is it going?" Jamin asked. That is the strange part, sir. It should take hundreds of years to travel between stars with chemical propulsion. But this ship left the system only 3 days ago. Jamin felt his blood turn cold. Are you saying they have faster than light travel? No, sir, no. The ship is definitely using chemical rockets, but somehow it is crossing interstellar space in days instead of centuries. Hyunwoo leaned forward. What if they are not using their own technology anymore? What if they learned something from our missing ships? The thought hit Jamin like a physical blow. 2,000 of the galaxy's best engineers, scientists, and technicians. All the knowledge they carried about advanced propulsion, quantum mechanics, and interstellar travel. If someone had been questioning them, learning from them. Sir, Commander So-young's voice came from the speakers. The ship is transmitting. All frequencies perfect galactic standard. Play it. A new voice filled the room. Young, male, speaking with the calm confidence of someone who held all the advantages. This is a message from humanity. We have your people. They are safe and unharmed. You will receive no further communications from us unless you continue to send ships into our system. This is your only warning. Stay away. The transmission ended, leaving the room in complete silence. Jamin stared at the screen, his mind racing. A species that should not even know other civilizations existed was speaking their language perfectly. They had built an interstellar ship using impossible technology, and they had 2,000 of the galaxy's finest minds as prisoners. Sir, Minho whispered, what do we do now? Jamin looked at the reports on his desk, then at the primitive ship drifting in space outside their monitoring station. We listen, he said finally, and we pray we have not made the biggest mistake in galactic history. The primitive rocket sat in space like a relic from a forgotten age. Admiral Jamin stared at it through the observation deck of his command station, trying to understand how something so crude could travel between stars. The ship was barely 50 meters long, built from what looked like welded metal plates and held together with hope. It has been drifting for 3 days now, reported Commander Hyunwoo. No movement, no communication since the initial message. Have our science teams learned anything? The hull is made from basic iron and titanium alloys. The engines are simple chemical rockets burning liquid fuel. By all our calculations, this ship should not be able to survive in deep space, let alone travel between star systems. Jamin rubbed his forehead. The impossible messenger had delivered its warning and then gone silent. Meanwhile, panic was spreading through the Galactic Council like wildfire. Representatives from dozens of worlds were demanding action, answers, protection. Sir, called out Communications Officer Kilron, the council chamber is requesting an immediate briefing. Jamin nodded and made his way to the main conference room. On the massive holographic display, representatives from across the galaxy argued with increasing desperation. The Zenthan war chief was pounding his fist on his podium. The delicate Melody ambassador was broadcasting waves of fear through her telepathic abilities. Even the usually calm Korvex scientists looked rattled. Admiral, called out Ambassador Tejo of the Nexari delegation, we demand to know what you intend to do about this threat. What threat? Jamin asked calmly. Are you serious? A primitive species has captured 47 of our ships and over 2,000 of our people. They are holding them hostage and making demands. This is an act of war. Is it? Jamin gestured to the display showing the primitive rocket. They warned us to stay away. We ignored the warning and kept sending ships. Now they are asking us to stop. That sounds more like self-defense than aggression. The Zenthan war chief stood up, his massive frame filling the screen. They are primitives. They should be grateful we even noticed their pathetic world. We should glass their entire system and be done with it. With what? Jamin asked quietly. Our missing dreadnought that lasted 18 minutes in their system? Our planet-cracking weapons that somehow failed to crack anything? The chamber fell silent. It was the first time anyone had openly acknowledged the terrible truth. Their most advanced military might had proven useless against whatever was protecting that small blue world. Sir, Kilron interrupted from his station, the primitive ship is moving. All eyes turned to the tactical display. The small rocket was indeed changing position, moving slowly toward their command station using tiny thruster bursts. "Are they approaching to attack?" asked the Melody ambassador, her mental voice shaking with fear. "With what weapons?" Hyun-woo replied. "Our scans show no armaments. The ship barely has life support." The rocket continued its careful approach until it was only a few kilometers away. Then it stopped and transmitted again on all frequencies. "This is the human vessel Hope's message," came the same calm male voice as before. "We request permission to dock and speak with your leadership." Jamin looked around the conference room at the faces of beings from across the galaxy. Fear, confusion, and anger warred in their expressions. Finally, he made his decision. "Permission granted, dock at Bay 7. "Admiral, are you insane?" shouted the Zenthan war chief. "You are letting the enemy board your station." One being, "In a ship held together with metal plates is hardly an invasion force," Jamin replied. "Besides, I want to hear what they have to say." An hour later, Jamin stood in the docking bay as the primitive ship connected to their advanced docking systems. The airlock cycled, and out stepped a young human male wearing what looked like a pressure suit made from fabric and metal rings. He removed his helmet, revealing dark hair and calm brown eyes. "I am Yong-Soo," he said in perfect galactic standard. "I speak for humanity." Jamin gestured for him to follow. As they walked through the corridors of the station, Yong-Soo looked around with obvious interest but no fear. "Your ship should not be able to travel between stars," Jamin said. "You are correct," Yong-Soo replied. "Chemical rockets are not efficient for interstellar travel, but we have learned much from your people over the past few months." "Our people?" "The crews of your reconnaissance ships. They have been very helpful. Commander Sung-min of the Altari taught us about quantum navigation. Dr. Yeonju from the Corvex explained anti-matter containment. The Zenthan warriors showed us advanced metallurgy techniques." Jamin stopped walking. "You have been interrogating our people?" "Interrogating?" Jong-Soo looked confused. "No, nothing like that. We have been learning from each other. Your people are curious about our world, and we are curious about yours. It has been quite educational for everyone involved." They entered the main conference room where the council representatives waited. Jong-Soo looked around at the assembled aliens with polite interest. "Hello," he said simply. "We need to talk." The Zenthan war chief leaned forward aggressively. "Where are our people, human?" "Safe and comfortable on our moon base. They are helping us understand your technology while we show them ours. It has been a very productive exchange." "Exchange?" The Melody ambassador's telepathic voice was sharp. "You kidnapped them." Jong-Soo tilted his head. "Did we? Your ships entered our system without permission. Your people were armed and scanning our world with weapons that could destroy planets. We defended ourselves by capturing rather than destroying your vessels. I would call that quite merciful." He looked around the room at the shocked faces. "But we did not come here to argue. We came to make you an offer." Jong-Soo stood calmly in the center of the council chamber as dozens of alien representatives stared at him in disbelief. Admiral Jamin watched the young human with growing fascination. Here was a being from a world that barely understood space travel, yet he showed no fear in a room full of species that could destroy planets. "What kind of offer?" asked Ambassador Taeho carefully. "Simple," Jong-Soo replied. "We return your people, and you leave us alone." The Zenthan war chief slammed his massive fist on his podium. "You dare make demands of the Galactic Council? We could turn your entire world to glass." Jong-Soo turned to look at the towering warrior with mild interest. "Could you? Your dreadnought? Cosmic fury lasted 18 minutes in our system. Your planet-cracking weapons never fired a single shot. What makes you think your next attempt would be different?" The chamber fell silent. No one had an answer to that question. "You want to know what happened to your ships?" Jong-Soo continued. "I will tell you. We have been watching your transmissions for decades. We learned your languages. We studied your technology through your own broadcasts. When your first scouts arrived, we were ready." He activated a small device on his wrist, and a holographic display appeared in the center of the room. It showed the interior of what looked like a massive space station. This is our monitoring base on the dark side of our moon. We built it over the past 20 years using materials from asteroids and techniques learned from your own educational broadcasts. The display showed humans working alongside beings from the missing council ships. They were not prisoners. They were collaborators, teaching and learning from each other. When your scouts entered our system, we disabled their ships using focused electromagnetic pulses. We learned this technique from your own military training broadcasts. Your people were brought to our station where they have been safe and comfortable ever since. Impossible, whispered Dr. Mincio, the Korvax science advisor. You cannot build a space station with primitive technology. You are correct, Jiangsu agreed. We could not build it with our technology alone, but your people have been very helpful teachers. Commander He Jin showed us how quantum processors work. Engineer Wu Jin explained antimatter containment systems. Dr. Da Yun taught us about artificial gravity generators. The hologram changed to show detailed technical diagrams. Advanced spacecraft designs that combined human engineering with alien technology. Ships that looked primitive on the outside but contained impossibly sophisticated systems within. You have been reverse engineering our technology, Admiral Jae-min said quietly. Learning from it, Jiangsu corrected. Your people are not prisoners. They are guests and teachers. Many of them have expressed interest in staying permanently to continue our joint research projects. This is madness, declared the Melody ambassador. A primitive species cannot master technology that took us thousands of years to develop. Jiangsu smiled for the first time since entering the chamber. That is where you are wrong. We are not primitive. We are young. There is a difference. He gestured to the holographic display which now showed images of human history. Wars, discoveries, achievements, all compressed into a few thousand years of rapid development. Your species developed slowly over millions of years. You had time to make mistakes, to learn gradually, to build your civilization step by step. We have had only a few thousand years, so we learned to adapt quickly. When we found evidence of your existence in our radio telescopes 50 years ago, we began preparing. The display showed underground facilities, hidden research stations, and carefully disguised observation posts scattered across the human solar system. We have been studying you for decades. Every transmission you sent, every broadcast you made, every piece of technical data that leaked from your ships. We learned your languages, your politics, your military tactics, and your technology. When you finally arrived, we were ready. But why? Asked Ambassador Taeho. Why prepare for war instead of welcoming contact? Jiangsu's expression grew serious. Because we also learned about your history. The Kelvani homeworld, strip-mined and abandoned. The Jorvek people, relocated to barren moons while you terraformed their planet for your own colonies. The dozen other species you uplifted into slavery. We know what the Galactic Council does to primitive worlds. The chamber erupted in angry voices, but Jiangsu continued speaking calmly. We had two choices. Wait for you to arrive and enslave us, or prepare to defend ourselves. We chose to prepare. And when your scouts came with planet-killing weapons and invasion protocols, we knew we had made the right choice. Those were reconnaissance missions, protested Admiral Jaemin. Were they? Your ships were armed with weapons that could destroy our entire civilization. Your crew carried detailed invasion plans and colonization protocols. We found these in your computer systems after we captured your vessels. Jiangsu deactivated the holographic display and looked around the room. But we do not want war. We want to be left alone to develop in peace. Your people have taught us much, and we have taught them things as well. Some have chosen to stay and continue working with us. Others wish to return home. We will honor both choices. And if we refuse your offer? Asked the Zenthan war chief. Jiangsu's calm expression never changed. Then you will discover that humans learn very quickly from their teachers. We now understand your technology, your tactics, and your weaknesses. The question you must ask yourselves is simple. Do you want us as enemies, or do you want us to remain strangers? He looked directly at Admiral Jaemin. The choice is yours. Admiral Jaemin stared at Jiangsu for a long moment, weighing options that all seemed impossible. The young human stood quietly in the center of the council chamber, showing no sign of nervousness despite being surrounded by representatives of dozens of alien civilizations. "You are asking us to simply forget about 47 ships and 2,000 crew members," said Ambassador Tejo finally. "I am asking you to respect the choices your people have made," Jiangsu replied. 60% wish to return home. They miss their families and their worlds. The other 40% have asked to stay and continue working with us. They find our joint research projects fascinating. The Zenthan war chief leaned forward aggressively. "And you expect us to believe they are staying voluntarily?" Jiangsu activated his wrist device again. The holographic display showed the interior of the lunar base, but this time it focused on individual council members. They were working alongside humans, teaching and learning, clearly comfortable and engaged. "Commander Sungmin?" Jiangsu called out to the display. A familiar Altari officer looked up from a technical console. "Yes, Jiangsu? The council representatives would like to know if you are being held against your will." Commander Sungmin laughed, a sound that shocked everyone in the chamber. "Against my will? This is the most exciting research I have ever done. These humans have ideas that never occurred to us. Yesterday we figured out how to increase quantum processor efficiency by 30% using their modular design concepts. But you can leave if you choose?" Of course, Captain Minjae returned to his ship last week. He said he missed his family too much to stay. But Dr. Yan Ho and I are planning to submit a proposal for a permanent research exchange program. Jiangsu deactivated the display and looked around the chamber. "Your people are not prisoners, they are colleagues and friends. But we understand that some wish to return home and we will not prevent that." "This is unacceptable," declared the Melody ambassador. "You cannot simply decide which of our people stay and which return." "We are not deciding anything," Jiangsu said patiently. "They are deciding for themselves. Is that not how free beings should live?" Admiral Jamin found himself nodding before he realized it. The human was right. If council members were choosing to stay voluntarily, what right did the council have to force them to return? "What guarantees do we have?" asked Dr. Minseo. "How do we know you will not attack us in the future?" "What reason would we have to attack you?" Jiangsu asked. "We want to be left alone to develop our civilization in peace. If you leave us alone, we have no quarrel with you. And if we do not leave you alone?" Jiangsu's expression remained calm, but something cold flickered in his eyes. "Then you will discover what humans are capable of when we feel threatened. We have learned much from your people over the past months. We understand your technology, your tactics, and your weaknesses. We know which worlds are your military bases, which systems produce your weapons, and which trade routes carry your supplies." The chamber fell silent. The implications were clear. Humanity had not just captured ships and crews. They had gained intelligence about the entire Galactic Council. "You are threatening us," said the Zenthan war chief. "I am stating facts," Jiangsu replied. "If you force us to become your enemies, we will be very effective enemies, but we would prefer to remain strangers. The choice is yours." Admiral Jamin looked around the chamber at the faces of the council representatives. Fear, anger, and confusion warred in their expressions. But underneath it all, he saw something else. Respect. This young species had outmaneuvered the entire Galactic Council using nothing but intelligence, preparation, and careful planning. "What exactly are you proposing?" Jamin asked. "Simple terms," Jiangsu said. "Mark our system as restricted in your databases. Warn all council members that it is off limits. In return, we will return those who wish to go home and establish limited communication channels for those who wish to stay in contact with their families. And the research projects? We'll continue with volunteers only. We have much to learn from each other, but only if both sides choose to participate freely." Theo, Korvek's science advisor, leaned forward with obvious interest. "What kind of research?" Jiangsu smiled. "We have developed some interesting approaches to faster-than-light communication using quantum entanglement. Your people have been amazed by our progress. We have also made advances in energy efficiency and resource recycling that might interest You're environmental scientists. You would share this technology? With willing partners, yes, but not with conquerors. Admiral J. Mean made his decision. I will recommend to the High Council that we accept your terms. Admiral, protested the Xanthan war chief. You cannot seriously consider negotiating with primitives. They are not primitives, Jamin said quietly. They are something far more dangerous. They are intelligent, adaptable, and prepared. We underestimated them once. I do not intend to make that mistake again. Jiangsu nodded respectfully. Wisdom, Admiral. I hope your council shares your good judgment. 3 days later, the Kepler 442 system was officially marked as Restricted Authorized Personnel Only in all Galactic Council databases. No explanation was given in the public records, but word spread quickly through military channels. There were humans in that system. And humans, it turned out, were not to be underestimated. The 47 captured ships were returned over the following months, along with crew members who chose to leave. Those who stayed sent regular messages home, describing amazing discoveries and breakthrough research projects. And in the restricted files of the Galactic Council, a new entry appeared. First contact protocols revised. Some species are more dangerous when underestimated than when respected. Humanity had turned their first contact into their greatest strategic advantage.